A husband and wife bake shop had to close shop after gay rights activists had successfully driven away their contract business because they refused to bake for a gay couple's wedding. Aaron and Melissa Klein own and operate the Sweet Cakes shop, which they are now forced to operate out of their own home. The couple has received many threats and ugly emails, and their businesses obviously suffered a severe and sudden drop in revenue, and now they are, they're barely operating. They have to work out of their home, and they're not, they've lost most of their business, lost most of their support. They're getting threats, which I don't condone, but at the same time, if you're going to, if you're going to be an asshole, expect there to be consequences, is basically the moral of the story. And what do you guys feel about it?
Free market, baby. Free market.
It's sad to see a small business go out of business, but when they do stuff like that, when they do shit like this,
no, it's not. It's not. I don't feel bad at all.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I don't feel bad about this business, right? Because, just like you said, free market. The free market has chosen.
All the diners in Mississippi that wouldn't serve black people and told them we don't serve your kind. Fuck you. I hope you go out of business. I wish you never were even able to get into business. If that's how you function, you are a disgusting human being.
I agree. You know what?
I'm going a little over the top here, but nonetheless, I look. There are certain things that I don't think are debatable. One of those things is you can't pick and choose. Oh, you're black, I don't want to serve you. Oh, you're gay, I don't want to serve you. If somebody comes in,
I believe they can. I believe they can, and they have that right to do that, but they also have the right to go out of business for it.
Yeah, you have the right to be an asshole.
That's basically my attitude.
Do you think they should be allowed to?
I think if it's their business, it pretty much is their right in certain circumstances. It's a very touchy situation because if you imagined a town that was so small that it only had one restaurant, that's pretty damning to say that you can't have the same rights to eat out as other people can. But again,
right.
If you have a personal property and personal belief issue that really makes things crazy. But
No. Look,
you can't violate simple rights. When you're going to be in a public profile. And if you're going to be willing to open, say, a little bakery or something like that, then you're putting yourself in a public profile that says, hey, I'm going to treat everybody equally and according to the laws that are set in place. And I really wouldn't want to see them change. I mean, civil rights laws move the country forward. They didn't take it backward.
Right. See, that's the thing. Let me just real quick. So when it comes to the Civil Rights Act, you're right. The Civil Rights Act stepped in and said, look, you're simply not allowed to discriminate on the basis of race. Now, unfortunately, in a majority of the states, you're still allowed to discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation. Now, I think that's a black and white issue. I think that it's the same as the civil rights issue. I think that you should not be allowed. There should be federal legislation that treats the LGBT community as a protected class, just like gender and race are treated that way. But let me just make this one distinction real quick. I'm allowing people in a capitalist economy. You should be able to discriminate on the basis of actions. So if somebody comes into your store and they're acting like a douchebag and they're throwing things against the wall and shit, of course you can kick them the fuck out and not serve them. I have no problem with that whatsoever. What I do have a problem with is arbitrary discrimination. If you're saying to somebody on the basis of something they literally have no control over, somebody can't help if they're gay, somebody can't help if they're a race that the store owner doesn't approve of. You're not allowed to ignore that? You're not allowed to discriminate based on those things, but you can discriminate based on actions. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't even have the protection for LGBT people, though, right now, and it's a shame that even under a Democratic administration, there's not even a discussion about passing a bill like that.
Well, that's because they need to just suppress.
It's a shame that we're so.
Those are just urges that need to be suppressed.
The people who say that have urges of their own.
No doubt. I love hearing it.
Yeah, they're gay immediately when they're like, You're like, yeah, I don't like gay people, which is why I love dick.
Oh, excellent.
Supposedly we live in a first world nation, but when it comes to LGBT issues, we're often very backwards when compared to other first world nations.
Yeah.
We have so much farther to go. It's insane.
Yeah, you're so right.
But
and it's
at
like,
the same time, as long as they are allowed to discriminate, which unfortunately there are no laws stopping these people from doing what they did, it is good. It is reassuring to see the community react in such a way that would force them out of business.
yeah, and also just I read the same story. I think at a different website though, and I'm not 100% on this, but there were some allegations that this might have even been a ruse. That like they were doing it to try to get sympathy, so that they could say, "Oh, we're the victims, even though we hate gay people and we're discriminating against them nonstop." So,
Well,
just something to keep in mind.
You know what makes me happy about this, though, is the fact that they were judged guilty in the court of public opinion, which means that a lot of people are like, "Hey, you're going to be a bigot? I'm not going to buy a cake from you. You're going to be an asshole and discriminate against gay people?"
Public opinion on this is with us. Public opinion, and it's with us, and it's getting even stronger and stronger every single year.
And so that's why I'm happy to see stuff like this happen.
It's because of great icons like Pat Robertson and stuff. I mean, you know, when you think of somebody like that speaks out on gay issues all of the time, and some of the things he said, like the hyperbole and satire I was spitting out, came from something that man said about being able to suppress the urges. And I have to question him on stuff like that, because I think, you know, I've never had the urge to, you know, hobnob a penis, so I really don't know how to suppress that urge, because I've never had it. So the fact that he says that you can have it and suppress it means he must have had it to know that you can suppress it. It's the only thing I can think, because I just can't imagine it in the other respect. So,
No doubt. Look, people. When I was in college, I'll never forget it. In one of our sociology classes, there was a kid who was in the class, really straight-laced kid. He had plans to eventually become a police officer, right? And you know, he wasn't like a deep thinker or anything. And I remember just in casual conversation one day in class, the issue of gayness came up, and this kid blurted out of nowhere, "Everybody's gay. Either everybody's gay or nobody's gay." And all of us we all looked at him.
Must have struck a nerve.
Like, no,
and our first thought
I don't
was
think
actually,
everybody's gay.
No, dude, I've never in my life
think
been
it's
attracted to a
you.
man to the point where I want to blow him or do any sexual acts. But now, thanks for letting us know you do. Now we know you do.
That's the point, though, is that if somebody is willing to admit that you know they're a homosexual, and they tell you, "I'm a homosexual and I was born this way," if you don't believe them, then maybe you know some inside tract on it that I don't know, because I'm not, so I have to believe them.
And when they say it's a choice, what they're saying is, I've heard this argument so many times. Well, you know, you can control your behavior, which means they're saying I'm suppressing the urge to fuck men, and I'm only fucking women, and I don't want to fuck women, I want to fuck men, and that's what's going on in their mind. And by the way, Jeff, don't you dare clip that out. That'll be hilarious.
You know me too well, man. You're on the record. They think it's a choice because they've made the choice to be not gay because, or I'm sorry, to act not gay because they really are gay.
But I feel bad. Just give in, man. I feel so bad for them in a sense, because I mean they're hateful people and they spew it all over the place.
Because they hate themselves.
Phraseology. But yeah, no, I do feel bad for them because they're living a lie. You're living a lie, and
that's the thing I can't stand.
It's based on a fucking holy book too, a holy book from thousands of years ago, which is filled with 7-headed fucking dragons and people thinking the world is flat. And you're going, oh yeah, this book seems reasonable. I guess I'll not sleep with men because this thing says it. No, sleep with men all you want. I mean, it would make them happier. That's the thing that's crazy is, you think Ted Haggard didn't enjoy doing crystal meth and fucking the gay hooker? He was having the time of his life.
And look, and for people that use the biblical argument, that's what bothers me the most right here, is because they'll go back and they'll talk about Leviticus, right? What is it, Leviticus 10:23?
And the rest of Leviticus has all the other points. Yeah, can't eat shellfish.
Can't wear mixed fibers.
Can't wear two different fibers, exactly. And you don't
You
don't see Pat Robertson protesting outside of the fish market. You don't see Pat Robertson protesting out in front of the Gap and Kmart because they're selling cotton clothes. So it is absolutely cherry-picked. It's cherry-picked, and they're doing it because this is the thing they're already focused on. They're using the Bible to rationalize their already held prejudices. And it's so transparent and it's comical.
It's a pretty solid book of morality, though. I mean, like if you based morality off it, you'd find some pretty solid facts. Like it really teaches you how to punish them damn women who got themselves raped. By forcing them to get married after they pay the father a couple shillings and marry the girl you raped. That'll show that bitch for getting herself raped.
Yeah.
I mean,
look,
come on.
Yeah.
There's no morality in that thing.
Look, I know we're dragging on this topic, but I just want to throw out one more final thing on it, just real quick. So I read this fantastic article. I talked about it on my show about probably about 3 or 4 months ago now. And there were some biblical scholars who decided to do this, really radical thing known as actually reading the Bible. I know, really radical. And what they were looking for was what is biblical marriage? And they all expected to find out exactly what the Christian conservatives say in the U.S. They were expecting to find multiple examples of one man, one woman, because we've all been so programmed from when we were kids. Well, of course biblical marriage is one man, one woman. You know what they found? The 3 forms of biblical marriage. Number 1, polygamy. Polygamy is the number 1 form of biblical marriage. Number 2, you just alluded to it, sir. It's marrying women off to their rapists. Stay classy, Bible. But my favorite one is the 3rd form of biblical marriage, although this isn't even really marriage. It's men castrating themselves and then living lives of celibacy.
Ow.
So here's what I'm not signing up for: any form of biblical marriage.